It's Donkey Kong, the arcade sensation, and now you can play it at home.
Hang on, sweetheart! I'm gonna save you!
Here's another Nintendo cabinet I actually finished last winter, just about, or 2015. It's now 2016, and yeah, I never got around to making a video of it. It was just a very crazy year for machines for me. But yeah, here's the Donkey Kong. As you can see, if you move the camera a little bit, yeah, look at that. It's weird. Anyways, and yeah, I ended up picking this up locally. It was actually a whatchamacallit, a guy had passed away, and they were just selling off some of his possessions. There's a word for it, but it's eluding me right now. And yeah, and this was in the basement. I saw an ad on Craigslist, and you know, I messaged the people. They originally wanted like $800. It was crazy. So I passed up that first, and then I waited a few days, and I was going through Craigslist again. They were like, "Oh, it's a half off sale." So I'm like, "Oh, so $800 half off, $400. That's not too bad for a Donkey Kong if it's working." And I called them and I said, you know, does that include this machine? They're like, yes, just come out and take a look at it. They're really pushy for someone to come out and take a look at it, because I don't know how long they had it out or whatever, but I don't know, maybe a couple people passed it up. So anyways, I went to the people's house and with my girlfriend and my dad, because it was actually close to my dad's house out in Lombard, and we went down, we saw it, and took a look at it at first, and I could totally tell there was some glitchiness happening, and the screen was wonky, and they must have been had it on the whole weekend or whatever, because you could tell just by like the back, there was no back to this machine. You could see just like, you know, how dusty and stuff in there, and it was really, you know, hot from being on so long, and anyways, and the screen was all messed up. And I was like, oh, okay, so it's not in great shape, really. I mean, the front of it, I mean, this is all after we had fixed it and everything. There was, like, screw holes in it, and, you know, the door was all banged up, and funny thing about the coin door was actually, when we were taking that all apart, I was like, why the little reject was, like, stuck? And I was like, what's up with that? I'm like, what's going on? So we went into the coin reject, and someone had shoved, like, I think it was like $8 or $10 worth of quarters in there. It was ridiculous. There was like 30 or 40 quarters. It was crazy. Anyways, and got all that fixed up. But to continue with the story, you know, it was missing the back, like the back door was missing, and like the little plate at the bottom where you turn it on at, that was like kicked off of the machine, like someone had tried to move it, and it had ripped off, you know, all the staples and everything. So that was nice. What else? I mean, I didn't replace the bezel. The marquee was original. The control panel was a little beat up. The sticker here was all beat up, and I think it was even missing this sticker here. So, you know, we asked the lady, we're like, you know, it's not in the greatest shape. Would you take less than 400? And she's like, well, I'll do 380. And my girlfriend's at the time was like, well, this, you know, the board's messed up and everything. She's like, what's the lowest you'll take it? And she's like, I'll do 340 or something like that. And we said, okay, fine, you know, because she's like, she was in a hurry to leave too, which was, it was just weird. And of course they just wanted to get their sale and get it out of the house and be done with it. So we bought it and we took it back, and I mean, the artwork is actually in really nice condition. I mean, this is the original side art, minus, there's a little tear here, and there's a little tear over here, and there's a little tear here. So that's original. I never touched that. I mean, we cleaned it up, like magic eraser and whatnot, but that's all original. I mean, there's a few dings and whatnot. You can see right here, we tried to match the paint on it. Wasn't perfect, but yeah, I mean, even when we bought it, you know, like the laminate and everything and the side arc was really nice, but like everything, like all the black and everything needed to be retouched up. But yeah, so basically all I had to really do with the board is I had to reprogram a few EEPROMs. It was the 4 board stack, so I had to take it apart, you know, go through each EEPROM, because I was checking, you know, because people online said, "Oh, this is what happens when you have a bad EEPROM." Mario was glitching out, and there were like blocks. So that was my first indication, like, oh, maybe something simple like an EEPROM. And in this situation, it was not always, but it was. And so I got those programmed. I actually stole some EEPROMs off of a bad Pac-Man board I had and threw it in there, and bam, now it's working great. Capped the monitor, adjusted the B plus and all that stuff. Replaced the marquee, the light in it was dead, so I ordered a new bulb from Bulbtronics. I forget which one. There's some store that carries like the specific bulb that goes into this marquee. So, and I like using the original one. Some people are like, "Oh, why bother?" But to me, it's kind of like, it's the feel of it. It's like, I know it's there. Someone else might not know, but at least I have peace of mind that it's there. So yeah, replaced bulb and the starter. Got a whole new. This control panel, someone on the Claw forums redid. Like, he made a whole like new one. Like, he did the laminate for it, and he made the hole for the buttons and joysticks and all that other stuff. Routed it out for the T-molding and did a pretty decent job. I had some difficulty getting the control or the stick in there, which was weird. Like, it wasn't deep enough. But again, this is if I forgot to mention, this is a first run Donkey Kong. Like, this is the one that they had made. Like, this isn't a radar scope or anything like that, or obviously not, because it's not red. But this was like originally supposed to be a Donkey Kong. Like, it's got a 4-board stack. It's got the old style coin door. Yeah, I don't know what else indicates the original. Like, the original, it has the side art and blah blah blah. I forget what serial number this is, but it's pretty low. Anyways, so yeah, as I was saying, got a new control panel and whatnot, got the stickers and all that, repainted all the blacks. What else did we do to this thing? Not a whole too much. Got the flat T-molding. I had to steal a door off of another Nintendo game I was doing at the time. I stole the back door on this is actually from it was from a Donkey Kong, but it was a Play Choice, or a Donkey Kong that was converted into a Play Choice, and we ended up making a door for the Play Choice, and ended up selling the Play Choice, but kept the door from that to put on here. So it's got a semi-original door, if you want to call it that, and I restapled that board broken down there, and yeah, I mean, we didn't run into too much difficulty with it. There was a lot of random holes. Like, there was like a bar on this at some point, so we had to fill that in. You can kind of see the discoloration. You can see it actually better through the camera than you can in person. So I had to fill that in. You can see there were quite a few holes up here. Someone just kind of went crazy making holes. I have no idea why. Just that's what some people did back in the days. Oh, the cabinet's shifting. Instead of going in and gluing and stapling or whatever, they're just like, oh, let's just sink a screw through it and no big deal. And hey, that was a quick fix back in the day, so you can't blame them, but makes my job of getting it up and looking nicer a little harder. But yeah, nothing really too great to show in the coin door. I mean, it has the coin box, and you can't really see back there, but there's the board and the wiring mess, and it's had, let's see, 31,000 plays on it. And what's funny is the house this was at was actually one of my dad's friends or high school buddies' father. So, and he says he kind of remembers it being there from when he was a kid. So probably 31,000 of those plays. This was probably in this guy's basement for a while. Because 31,000 plays for a Donkey Kong, I would think is kind of low, but who knows. But yeah, I mean, that's my my little Donkey Kong story for you. This one was a lot less of a mess than some of my other ones, including the Mario Brothers. I didn't really put too much money into it other than fixing up little bits here and there. I cap every monitor I get, so that's no big deal to me. And the joysticks and all that stuff. All this stuff you can buy. This sort of like for the control panel, you can buy this like little Lexan overlay. You can buy that from Mike's Arcade, and the buttons and all that other stuff. And I rebuilt the joystick and the stickers. all that stuff's from Mike's Arcade. And like I said, this little like wooden frame for the control panel, or just the wooden control panel, that's from some guy on Claw did that. So everything is really easily available for Donkey Kong. There's a lot of parts out there, but yep. And then like I said, repainted some of the blacks and whatnot, but it's not, I wouldn't call it restored, but it's rejuvenated. You know, it's not a 100% restore, but I think it looks really nice, and it turned out really good, and I'm really happy to get it in my collection, because unfortunately I got one a while back that we fixed up, and we were kind of teetering, like, should we keep it, should we sell it, and we ended up selling it, and I totally regretted it as soon as I did. But this one is a lot nicer than that one, because I ended up painting that one, and I didn't like how I painted it, and there's a lot of little things that were bugging me on this, but this is like perfect. This is the way I want it, so, and it works really well. Go ahead and start it up, because why not? Just show you that it does indeed work. The only thing that bugs me actually about this is you see right up at that one player how it's orange. It's got like a degaussing problem. I don't know. I have a coil. I've taken the coil to it. You know, I've swirled it around and still won't get rid of it, but I mean, the gameplay is great. The monitor looks pretty good. I know I need to tweak it a little bit, but it's not that bad right now. I didn't rejuvenate this monitor, so it might help from a reju. Well, I died. Can't even jump. But yeah, there's my Donkey Kong. And thanks for sticking around.